Welcome to a place where hearts unwind, infinite threads that gently bind, love and compassion in every line. Together we rise through space and time.
Welcome back to Infinite Threads. I'm your host, Bob. Today's thread is hard but vital because we've all seen it before. Good people, people who love their families, pray at night, work hard, and try to live right, end up defending or excusing things that at their core are cruel. Sometimes it's in politics, sometimes it's in religion, and sometimes it's in family dynamics. Sometimes even it's in what we laugh at or what we share online. And they don't see it because they don't feel cruel. They don't wake up in the morning thinking, I want to be the villain in someone's story. In fact, they often think they're doing the right thing. So how does something like that happen? Well, cruelty rarely kicks down the door in jackboots. More often, it drips in slowly. A shift in language, a joke that dehumanizes, a silence in the face of harm, a decision to prioritize comfort over conscience. It's 1,000 micro decisions that gradually train us to see other people not as full human beings, but as labels, threats, burdens, enemies, or as we've talked to before, as them. That's what we've talked about before. There is no them. There's only us. And once we've boxed people in like that, making them, it becomes surprisingly easy to justify their pain, even to ignore it entirely. Because it's them. It's not us. It's them. The most dangerous kind of cruelty is the one we convince ourselves is justified. We tell ourselves they brought it on themselves, or I'm just protecting my family. That's a big one. Everybody always has to use the excuse of protecting their family. Or how about that's how the world works? Or they're not like us. Big one that a whole lot of good people use is it's not personal. Oh, we wrap our fear and anger in words like law, order, truth, righteousness, or tradition. And we stop asking the one question that could have saved us. You all know what that question is, don't you? Is this loving? Is this coming from a place of love? Not, is this legal? Not, is this popular? Not, did my pastor or party or parents say that it was okay? But, is this loving? That's the simple question, guys, because cruelty can wear a suit. It can carry a Bible. It can speak from a podium. It can live in the algorithms of your feed and still sound like common sense. Until you zoom out, until your heart softens, until you hear the trembling voice on the other end of the policy, the meme, the vote, the silence, and realize, oh no, I was part of the harm. That realization hurts. But it's also where love begins. Waking up to compassion feels wonderful. The truth is, if someone had met you in your worst moment, if someone had only judged you by your hardest season or your worst mistake, wouldn't you want them to look deeper? I mean, my gosh, that's not what you want, is it? You don't want people to judge you by your worst moment. Anything could be the person's worst moment. We all need grace. But grace requires awareness. And awareness begins with curiosity and humility. Cruelty thrives when we're unwilling to listen. When we surround ourselves only with those who think like us. When we refuse to be uncomfortable. But love makes room. Love looks again. Love listens, and love changes. Not because it's weak, but because it's strong enough to admit when it's been wrong. So how do we guard against cruelty? We slow down. We test our instincts. We sit with the people who are hurting and ask what it feels like to be on the receiving end. I was talking to a friend today, and that's what you do, man. You ask, how does it feel to be on that end? We invite the voice of compassion to speak louder than the voice of pride. And most importantly, we make a habit of asking, is this coming from love? Because if it isn't, if it's coming from fear or anger or tribal loyalty or shame or pride or anything other than love, then it may not be right. And it might be cruelty. Cruelty coming from your voice. Let's not be afraid to see it, guys. And let's be brave enough to change it. You are not too far gone. None of us are. Not if we're still willing to grow, still willing to love, and still willing to ask, what does compassion require of me today? You're not alone in this journey. We're learning together, guys. One thread at a time. Thank you. Thank you for doing this with me. Thank you for coming and listening. Thank you for commenting. Thank you for liking, and thank you for sharing. I'll see you on the next one, and I love you guys very, very much. And you know what I need you to do. Well, pass that on. Later, Gators. Bye-bye.
Every story, every voice, in this love we all rejoice. Infinite threads, here we go. Welcome, friends.